for you sisters up in here. Goddess, if you don't mind, please share out the room as well too. Please share out the room. We're gonna be we're gonna be doing this on YouTube tonight as well as Twitter. So definitely want to hear. And I know sometimes you sisters occasionally will come up and speak as well too. So y'all, if y'all feel the mood, y'all feel it that y'all want to speak tonight. Like I said, we're gonna be talking about this Megan Hall character. We did a space on her. We did a space on Megan Hall when she first came out with this nonsense, and now I knew it was just a matter of time before this chick started using the white victimization card. I knew it. 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 I was waiting. I was waiting for them when they're going to be talking about she's suffering from mental anguish and all this other nonsense as well too. So I knew it was just a matter of time before this chick was going to use it. Trying to she have a book deal and a movie deal lined up soon as well too. She'll probably have a little one of those little mini shows on Netflix or something as well too. So definitely, I just knew it was a matter of time. Nate, what's going on? Nate, what's going on? Glad to have you up in the spot as well too. So we're gonna be getting this thing rolling here just a little bit. I'm letting the people come up in here. Shout out to my ones early on that's already on YouTube. Y'all on YouTube, go ahead and like it, share it. Please like it and share. We need our people when they are on YouTube, we go ahead and like and share the actual content as well too. So we slowly growing on YouTube. We ain't there yet, but slowly growing. So if any of you guys up in the space and you got a YouTube account, make sure you go ahead and follow us on YouTube as well too. So like I said, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna dig in on this in just a second. We're gonna dig on this in just a second. What's up, Tech? What's up, Tech? Uh, the I want to say the wand, but the ween. I don't want to mispronounce it because I do be mispronouncing names, so forgive me on that. But shout out to you. You always I know you're always interacting with the content online as well too. So you like and retweet a whole bunch of different things. So you would definitely appreciate it. So yeah, y'all, we're gonna be talking about this, and this Joker done filed a $2 million lawsuit against Howard University too. So those are gonna be the talking points tonight. We're gonna talk about Megan Hall, and we're going to talk about Michael Newman. Michael Newman decided to go up there, and he was on scholarship at Howard University. If you guys get a chance, listen to Professor Black Truth. He did a broadcast about that. I believe it was either yesterday or earlier today. It was a pretty nice broadcast at Professor Black Truth. He broke it down. I mean, so if you guys on YouTube, you go ahead and definitely, if you're not subscribed to Professor Black Truth, you definitely want to go ahead and subscribe to him. He gives a real thorough analysis. What's up, Diane? How you doing tonight as well, sister? How you doing? Good to see you over there in the spot as well, too, on YouTube. Make sure, Diane, you go ahead and you share it out and you like it and comment as well. Well, you always comment and like it anyways, but go ahead and make sure you share it out as well, too. Perry, how you doing tonight? We got some more of our people starting to filter up in here. And like I said, I'm going to let a few more people come up in here. The co-hosts hadn't, Ray and DJ, they hadn't made their way up in here yet. I ain't seen my boy Professor or Original up in here yet either. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and let a couple more people come up in here, y'all. And then I'm going to go ahead so we can start to touch up on this actual topic tonight, too. Yeah, Nate. Yeah, Nat. PB, he is the truth. Professor Black Truth is the truth. So, oh, yeah. So also now the retarded to consent to a trend. Yeah, reps. That's pretty much she's playing the victim now. But you knew she was gonna use that white card. She's a woman too. She's a white woman, so she can sit up here and you can just imagine the little victimization card that she's pulled out. It's always funny, like whenever something like this goes down, no matter how big a tramp some of these white women are, they can always go ahead and still find sympathy like in their community. They know damn well that stuff like that she was doing, not now all of a sudden like somebody twisted her arm to make her do it. So got to go in on this chick here. But I knew it. I knew when that story first broke that she wasn't done. I said she's going to spin this away. Because I remember years ago when I was young growing up, this you had this white woman did something and this judge was sitting up there. He was supposed to sentence her to prison. And this was like back in the 90s. They tell her she was too pretty to go to prison. The judge told she was too pretty. She can't go to prison because she's too pretty. So I just knew. I just knew it was a matter of time they would spin this thing right here, and all of a sudden now this. And don't be surprised if this chick don't get hit off with a $6 or $7 million lawsuit as well, a settlement. They'll go ahead and they'll sweep this under the rug as always. So shout out to everybody coming up in the space. Everybody that's up in the space too. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and y'all tweet out the space as well too. I'm checking out a couple little comments on Rep says, "Woo, child, she too dumb to do her job properly. This big head." I don't want to say the last part what he said. I don't want to say the last part what he said, but he called it a c word. So I don't want to. I don't want to say that. I don't want to offend any of the women up in the space saying that, but I feel what you're saying, Reps. I mean, we pretty much, if you've seen this story play out one time, you've seen it play out a million times. So you pretty much already knew what she was going to do. Like I said, she was going to use that white female card and whatnot and get the sympathy and this and that and all of those terrible men in there, and they just misused her and abused her and took advantage of her, and she was trying to do her job. She was a hardworking girl, and she just got, no pun intended, she just got the shaft. So that's pretty much, we knew that was going to happen, man. I mean, I knew a couple months ago, a month ago, whenever that story broke, I already knew what she was going to do. Like I said, we covered this one time. We covered this up there in the Newstoter space as well, too. And we talked about it. And we pretty much knew exactly what this chick was going to do. So let me real quick, as we got a few more people coming up in here. Miss Taboo, how you doing? I guess we go ahead and start covering some of these topics right here for tonight. We got two that we're gonna talk on. Howard University, HBCU. I believe Howard is Howard still the biggest HBCU in the country? I believe Howard is still the biggest HBCU to my knowledge. So Howard, they got to deal with a suspected white supremacist up there cutting the food, carrying on. But let me go ahead and I'll start off with the Howard topic is first, and then I'll get to Little Miss Riding Hood. Okay, up in the jumbotron, y'all, and also if you're on YouTube in the action, what's going on, Nightfall? Same old as always. Up in the jumbotron, guys, you can catch both of these articles on the far right hand side. Both of them from Black Enterprise, both of them curator Newstoter.com platform. First, I'm going to touch up real quick on what's going on at Howard University. It's titled, it was published by Black Enterprise again, and it says, white student files $2 million lawsuit against Howard University claiming racial discrimination. I thought it was no racial discrimination in the country. I thought that was all a figment in the black's mind. I guess not. A white student is suing Howard University for $2 million after claiming he suffered from racial discrimination while attending the university's law school. The New York Post reported Michael Newman was a law school student at Washington, D.C.-based HBCU in 2020 and was expelled in September 2022. DJ, let me go ahead. I see you requesting, so let me go ahead real quick. Add you up here, put you in as a co-host, and let me go ahead and finish touching up on this article. Shout out to you coming up in here as well, too. Okay. Says a New York Post reported Michael Newman was a law school student at Washington, D.C.-based HBCU in 2020 and was expelled in September 2022. While there, the lawsuit claims Newman suffered depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts due to public ostracism, vilification, and humiliation. He specifically named Howard's global head of diversity recruiting, Reggie McGahee, in the lawsuit, saying McGahee told Newman he allegedly was the most hated student he has seen during his tenure at the university. The school's VP and Chief Communications Officer, Frank Tramble, told the Post he couldn't fully comment on the lawsuit. However, he said the school was prepared for a fight. Tramble said the lawsuit is one-sided and self-serving narrative of events leading to the end of the students' enrollment at the university. Newman's lawyers are attempting to prove Howard broke his contract with Newman, who was attending on scholarship. According to the Post, Newman claimed the real trouble for him started at the height of the coronavirus pandemic, when classes switched to a virtual setting. Students generally communicated through GroupMe or online portals. The Daily Mail, Newman proposed questions to African American speakers, asking why Black voters didn't question turning to government for solutions and how reliably voting for the same party every election disincentivized both parties from responding to the needs of the Black communities. He received instant backlash and was removed from class. Students also felt offended when Newman allegedly compared himself to a Black student attending a PWI, or primarily white institution. After attempting to apologize, Newman said students began calling him names such as Mayo King and White Panther. Daniel Holly, the dean of the School of Law, allegedly accused Newman of racially harassing fellow students and suggested he transfer to another school. After both Holly and Newman filed several complaints, a school panel determined that Newman was responsible and ruled that he should be expelled. So Newman is trying to get that bag right now. And like I said, if you guys get a chance, y'all make sure y'all hear Professor Black Truth break this down. This cat came up in here. We call him the Mayo King and the White Panther. So all of a sudden, like I say, tonight is going to be about white victimization right here tonight. Because the white folks, apparently everybody's doing something wrong to them. Now, first off, this joker's he's at Howard University on scholarship. It's amazing how you can always get a lot of these cats to come up here. You get now the actual HBCUs are getting to the point now where they're getting big dollars having non-Black Americans come to the actual universities, whether it's Asians or it's Hispanics or it's whites or it's just non-Black people coming there. They're getting paid big dollars. But this cat's sitting up here, and from what everybody was saying, he seemed to be quite the instigator and the troublemaker as well too. But now he's pointing the finger at administration and at students as well too. And like I said, tonight's going to be about white victimization. He's going to sit up here just like this other chick. We're going to go into talking about exactly how they was mistreated and misused. We know for a fact of the matter that these HBCUs want to do any and everything they can to go ahead and keep as many of these non-Blacks into the school because they're making a ton of money off of this. It is a ton of money for these HBCUs to open up their doors and allow any and everybody to come up in there. Now, the interesting thing is that you see the actual enrollment of Black Americans really dwindling over the past 15, 20 years. There's really no money in it for them to go ahead and keep Black Americans coming there. But if they go ahead and open it up, and pretty soon it shouldn't be called HBCUs. They should just call it the Rainbow University because that's pretty much where it's headed to right now. So while the enrollment at these PWIs, these public white institutions are still remaining stagnant in terms of Black Americans coming there, you're really starting to see an increase of actual, like I say, non-Black Americans that's actually attending these HBCUs right now. So it's money in it. It's big money in it. I had a boss of mine, white man, he's probably in his 70s now. He went to FAMU, and then like everybody at work was shocked to see this because we knew he was a good old boy, and we thought he went to FAMU. Yeah, they've been going to these Black universities for a long time. So Mr. Newman has decided to go ahead, and he was on campus for from 2020 to 2022, and now he's sitting up here and he's trying to come up with a reason why he was expelled. And he's trying to get that money as well too. So when all else fails, and you can see that at one point racism doesn't exist. Black people need to get over it. You're just making excuses, yada 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 yada. But then when something goes against a white person, they can't get into a certain university, they can't get a certain job, they can't get this and get that. Then they're being discriminated against. They're being oppressed. They're being done wrong. But I thought you said racism was something that ended in slavery time. I thought racism, had ended after segregation. But, whenever a white person can't get something, the first thing that comes out their mind is that they're being discriminated against. And you saw that in the space we talked about with Elon Musk last night. Elon Musk owns one of the biggest media outlets in the world, apparatus, and he's sitting up and he's saying that, hey, the media is discriminating against Asians and whites. So now we're getting it from all kind of levels as well too. You get it in the media from one of the richest men on earth, who owns one of the largest media corporations on earth, sitting up here saying how they're being discriminated against, how they're being mistreated. And you got these brats going to these HBCUs as well too, sitting up here. The HBCUs getting pumped with millions of dollars to go ahead and accept non-Black Americans to come into these universities, making fist over dollars. And they're sitting up here, and this is the kind of crap that you got to deal with. So you got to really, really, I really like to know what the makeup also of Howard University is at this point too. Not just the actual the student numbers, but also the administration. I like to know exactly how many people in administration, are actually Black Americans there. Because some of these HBCUs, I know one of them, they made a big deal about it. They celebrated. You had an Asian woman that was high up there. You have Latinos, you have whites, you have Asians, you have other non-Black people sitting up in some of the highest positions in these HBCUs universities right now. So like I say, you don't see that at these predominantly white universities. How often do you see a white president sitting at Penn State or one of these other universities? You rarely see that, but at these HBCUs, you're starting to see it more and more and more now. So I just wanted to touch up on that real quick. Shout out to Ray and DJ. What's going on tonight, man? How is the connection with you guys?
Yo, all good over here. What's going on, Newstoter. What's up, my brother Ray? What's up, everybody in the chat? I'm over here just getting my text on. Go ahead.
Real Ray, what's going on? Can you hear me tonight, Ray? How's the communication? How's the connection, I should say? You there, Ray? Yeah, you choppy. You choppy. I can hear the little ones in the background too.
They more HD than you right now, right? You got to upgrade your phone.
He already upgraded it. But yeah, man, we just sitting up here, and I say, let me give a shout out to some of our other people that came up in here as well. Too, shout out to you, Original. Thank you, Yvette, for your contribution on Cash App as well too. It is appreciated. Let me give a shout out to Black Pressure. I see you sitting down there as well too. I see a lot of y'all. Sincerely Black Love. Shout out to you. Shout out Reverend Tim. Shout out to Iron Malt. Shout out to Miss Eddings. I see you up in here as well too. So shout out to Cassandra, you guys. And like I said, tonight we want to go ahead and get some of you guys up here. If you don't mind speaking, we definitely want to hear from you. Right now, we're talking about just real quick. I want to touch up on this guy, this Michael Newman, that's filing this $2 million lawsuit against Howard University, trying to throw mud against the wall just to get it to stick. We want to talk about that real quick. And we got our girl came back, Maegan Hall. We knew she was going to come back. We did a space on her, about 2 months ago, DJ, month and a half ago. We knew Maegan was going to come back. And sure enough, Maegan came right back. And just like we knew it, in a typical Becky fashion, now she's been victimized. Just like your boy here, Brad, right here. Michael Newman, Bradley up here, he's been victimized too, sitting up here with a goddamn free scholarship, and he's up here running his mouth talking about how the people have done him at Howard University. Oh, yeah, we're going to go in a little bit tonight, man, real quick. I see my man Original. Shout out to you, Napoleon. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you for your contribution on Cash App. Oh, yeah, and I know Original's about to go in as well, too. Original, before you go in, let me see what some of our people are saying real quick. My girl Diane says, there goes the whites that always bring up race. I know. I thought that was just a black thing. My man Nightfall says, tell a lie big enough, long enough. Nightfall also said, this is what happened when the faculty is more interested in the quasi-boule instead of being on code. I mean, you ain't lying. You can't get much more boule than a lot of these universities right now. But like I say, they're pumping the dollars into them. What are you going to do? You think they're going to turn the dollars down? They ain't going to turn them dollars down. They pumping them dollars into those HBCUs because let's be for real. As much as you might criticize the HBCUs, they are severely underfunded when it comes to the actual compared to the PWIs. I mean, you're talking about them making 1,000 times less than what Florida State FAMU. You can't compare the kind of money that the state legislation and national funding that they get from the federal level. I mean, it's not even comparable at this point in time. Original, how you doing tonight? Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Peace, Black Power, and lineage-based reparation, not just reparation, but lineage-based reparation. Well, let me start with Becky May. Now, as Big Mama always said, you can't rape the willing. Because she was more than a willing participant. Right. And that's how these white girls are. See, when they already mud, and so when the mud is showed up on them, all of a sudden they want to come out there and say they the victim. I'm not sorry, but I'm gonna have to follow Big Mama's rule. You can't rape the willing. You are the willing participant, and now I wouldn't be surprised if she tried to come out and say that them black guys raped her. Watch and see. She gonna do, and not only that, they gonna believe her ass too. They gonna say, yeah, they probably work something on her. The only thing they worked on it was the pipe.
Well, Original, she already trying to come up with a bag now. They already trying to work her and use her as a victim to try to finesse her way into getting some money right now.
Oh yeah, see, I knew I haven't been keeping up with it, but this is insane. And this is why I tell black folks, stay the hell away from these crazy ass people. They are sick. And some of these black folks, they just love living around them. They love, if one of them winked their eye at, they seem nice. Ain't nothing nice about them folks. Leave them alone. And as far as this guy at Howard University, see, you have some of the, I saw this some years ago. You have some of these HBCUs, they was bragging about giving some of these white folks scholarships to come to the HBCU. And I had talked, this young lady I worked with several years ago, she said that she couldn't, and she's a smart sister. She said she couldn't get a scholarship at the HBCU. She said she don't know why, but she was going to go to Vanderbilt with one of her friends, but she ended up attending Georgia State. But see, these black folks, what's going on is this is over at the HBCU, and see, I think what it is I think some of the HBCUs, they have a specific way that they teach some of these students. See, it's kind of like the Marcus Garvey School in Los Angeles. See, those children at the Marcus Garvey School, they're doing like calculus and stuff in like the 5th grade. And see, what happened was, you remember the Junk Bond King, Michael Milken, the Junk Bond King from the it was like late 80s, early 90s. If anybody remember that. But anyway, Michael Milken offered, he wasn't the only one. He offered to pay the Marcus Garvey School $1 million. But see, what they wanted to do was, they wanted to take, but at first they wanted to install all these cameras and microphones, right? And then they wanted to take the black children out of the Marcus Garvey School and transport them over to a white school in the valley, but they wanted to bring their own stink little kids in there. And see, this is why I always call them kids, and I call black children church, because a kid is an animal. And they want to bring the animals over to the Marcus Garvey School. And Dr. Palmer said no. He said no. And so Barbara and George Bush, they came to that school, the Marcus Garvey School, when they were in Los Angeles one time. They were shocked. They said, well, we didn't know y'all could do this. Well, we can do anything we want to, you know? But see, that's what's going on. This is the takeover. Because you saw whereby this Spanish-speaking girl, she won the homecoming queen at some HBCU. These folks have gone crazy. And if you look at it, like you said, Newstoter, a lot of these higher ups, they either tethers from Africa or the Caribbean, or they are some other ethnic group. And see, and these are crazy black folks thinking that this is progress. These folks would never allow you to become have that higher status in their university because your skin color. But see, these black folks, they don't have any sense. They think white folks stuff don't stink. They think if they think by bringing white folks in there, it's going to make things better. No, it's going to make things worse. See, they want to come in there because see what this is part of, that I believe, this is part of them stealing more of our culture. They want to know how we do stuff. You know, as far as, you know, the bands and everything. This is nothing but culture theft. I'm not going to say appropriation. This is the theft of black culture. And these dumbass fools, they have no better sense than to sit up there and participate in this. This is insane. So, you know, and then, you know, and then if you look at some of these schools, you know, the children that go there, how they complain, like even here in Atlanta. I know several years ago, Clark, Atlanta, the children get there, they don't have dorms and this, that, and whatever, you know, and they don't, I don't know what they do. And just like how when Morris Brown was lost his accreditation, and somebody told me that the guy was a tether. It was a guy and a woman. They sabotaged Morris Brown, and then but let me share this part with you. The former mayor, cause see, it was Family Dollar as well as Chick-fil-A. They was gonna bail Morris Brown out, but the Boulay mayor, Kasim Reed, he had a talk with them he and some others, they convinced them to not give them the money. We got some sick folks up in our camp. They are beyond sick. But see, these same people like Asim Reed, he would fight, because I'm putting some stuff together now. See, he would fight to have, he wrote a letter regarding the illegal aliens being able to stay here. But see, they would never do anything regarding us, and the entire city council passed 2 resolutions saying that the illegal aliens should be here. And see, just like now you saw where Beetlejuice lost in Chicago, and I'm not mad if the white guy win this one, because if the white guy's gonna get rid of the illegal aliens in Chicago or start taking funding from them, I'm not mad, not at all, because it's past time that we begin to do things that's going to benefit us. And when Beetlejuice put all them illegal aliens in that school, and you got all these homeless people in Chicago, all these black people homeless in Chicago, that's a damn shame. So she deserved to win. But yeah, man, but the main thing I just want to say is that, like Big Mama said, you can't rape the willing. And I'm gonna land with that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she was willing and ready. So I'm sure they, like I say, they didn't have to twist her arm. They didn't have to grease her up too much to get her flowing. So, but we knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. I was just waiting a matter of time. Like, this white woman's not going to go and take this sitting down right here. She going to come back. The way that this made public, this made national news, and she was a butt of all these jokes and stuff like that. Yeah, in this day and age, that's not going to happen. She's not going to take this lying down. I knew she was coming back, and she came back with a vengeance. So she ain't done yet. Like I say, don't be surprised if a book deal ain't in the works, a Netflix movie, something. She gonna do something to go ahead and try to get some money coming her way too. So it's always original.
I don't know how she took it, lying down or whatever you said, but she took it.
Yeah, she got that look about her too, though. You look at her, you like, yeah, she's got that look about her, man. Real quick, yeah, and that reps on YouTube say great speaker. Yeah, original. He's always a great speaker. He's always kicking some real information. Black Pressure, I see you up in here too. I know you ain't got your hand raised up, but I just want to give you a shout out. So whenever you want to speak, Black Pressure as well too, and the rest of our people up here as well. I see Leon made his way up in here too. You permit. I see my man A Boogie up in the spot as well too. What's going on, Black Pressure?
Black family, News, Ray, DJ. Hey, News, I'm driving, so I'm gonna make it super quick. I'm gonna start something, and I'm gonna sit back and listen. So check me out, right? I remember you had a couple of spaces. This has been a few months ago now, and I apologize for the road noise. I'm used to traffic. So, we talked about, and that space was hot. There was a bunch of people in there, and then you had to keep stopping the room because people were talking over each other and all that good old stuff. We talked about should HBCUs let white people attend, right? Of course, and well, you know where I planted my flag at, but I'll say this. I'm not saying there was anybody in this room, but in that space that night, you had plenty of people making the case for why we should let white people into HBCUs, and I'll say, this is the sum of it. This story right here is the sum. Like I was saying, I said these people have never changed since creation. They will stab you in the back every single time once you make friends with these people. And I'll say this too. You had another space. It was super hot that night. Once again, disclaimer, I'm not saying anybody in this room at the moment. But speaking of Elon Musk, when Kanye West said the same effing thing that Elon Musk said, you had people in this space, not saying anybody in this room, but in that space that night, that is black people, our family, that was sitting back and saying, see, you gotta understand what Kanye was trying to say. And so I'm driving in this Houston traffic, I'll sit back and listen. Land my plane.
All right, Black Pressure, glad to have you up in here. When you do get a chance, definitely come back up in here because though we do so many of these spaces and stuff sometimes, but yeah, we did have that one about the HBCUs and about you know I think the title was should HBCUs just be for Black Americans, and and like you say, it went all over. It went to about white folks. It went to about minorities, and even went to some people talking about that it should just strictly not even Black people in the diaspora should be allowed into it as well too. So that space was like kind of like all over. Like people had so many different opinions about exactly about the HBCUs and who should be able to attend it and who shouldn't. I'll say this much right here. Like I say, is nothing is going to change at this point in time. Right now, they're trying to go ahead and take as much power away from a lot of these HBCUs. Like Professor Black Truth mentioned, they're trying to consolidate them even in some areas with these larger white universities. So you're not going to get to the point, and it's interesting. I'd like to also know this stat right here. What's the actual amount of white people attending the HBCUs as compared to Black people attending these PWIs? Because I got a sneaky feeling that it's a higher percentage of white folks attending these actual HBCUs and Black folks attending these PWIs. That's just my personal opinion. I can't say this for a fact, but I just really, really feel that is actually more white folks attending these historically Black colleges. And let's be for real, there would have been no need for historically Black college had this country been fair from the time you started having places of higher learning. But that's not the case. They did not want Black people attending these universities. They didn't want Black people going to school with them. So you had to have the HBCU. So I'm just interested to find that stat. If anybody knows that stat, please let us know tonight as well too. You Permit, how you doing tonight? Go ahead real quick.
Can I add? I'm gonna add something real quick, Lance. I'm driving. This is heartbreaking because it's in my neck of the woods. If you yourself or you send your child to Prairie View A&M University, or HBCU, a very, very historic and popular one, you graduated from the University of Texas A&M. You do not graduate from Prairie View. A lot of people don't know that. If you care to look it up, go look at Prairie View and look at the umbrella that university is under, and you'll be surprised. And I land my plane there.
No, I did not know that until you just said that. I definitely want to see that Black Pressure, because I assume that Texas Prairie View, and I know them from back in the 90s having like the longest losing streak in college football at that time. So that's what I really knew them from and stuff when I was younger. But I did not know that till you just said that. Truly, I didn't. You Permit, and I'm going to get to you real quick. I just want to touch up on this article real quick, and you guys are up next. I want to go ahead and touch up on Miss Maegan Hall real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to kick it to you guys as well too. This article is also on the Jumbotron. It's from Black Enterprise. It was published by them. It's curated on Newstoter.com platform. You guys, make sure everybody in the space that's following Newstoter, make sure y'all visit Newstoter.com daily. Former Tennessee cop who slept around files lawsuit says she was groomed for sexual advances. There are new developments in the case involving a former cop accused of sleeping with multiple co-workers. The Rolling Stone reported a new lawsuit filed by Maegan Hall, the disgraced former Tennessee police officer, is suing the city of Laverne and three of her superior officers claiming she was sexually groomed. Hall, who was married, said she was vulnerable in the department dominated by much older men. She was a subject to constant objectification and harassment. Hall claimed members of the department threatened her job if she did not return their sexual advancements. The ordeal led Hall to bouts of self-harm, leaving her hospitalized in December 2022. The lawsuit stated that she was seeking mentorship but received everything but that. Where Ms. Hall sought role models at her new job, she instead found predators, the lawsuit said, as reported by the New York Post. In a place of offering professional development, her supervisors and the chief of police groomed her for sexual exploitation. Hall was terminated in January along with LPD Chief Bureau Chip Davis and Sergeants Henry T. McGowan and Lewis Powell, who were named in the lawsuits. The case made headline with Hall's face being used on social media memes and Photoshop. After being fired, Hall secured a job at a local restaurant but lost it due to the extreme degree of publicity she faced as a butt of ongoing viral jokes and harassment from the media. The alleged escapades, including officers Larry Holliday, Patrick Magalico, Ty McGowan, Juan Perez, Gavin Chabrel and Detective Seneca Shields prompted an investigation from the department uncovering uncomfortable truths about the chief. The lawsuit claimed Davis once asked Hall to come to his office to dance with him, tried to get her to agree to lunch dates, and constantly described her clothing as hot girl summer S. Paul, Perez, McGowan, and Shields were terminated, but Holiday and Maligo remain employed but currently suspended. Sources were unaware of the amount of the lawsuit, but it is seeking lost wages, medical expenses, mental suffering, emotional distress, and reputational harm. Now, my man on YouTube made a good point when he said that Nightfall said he said I thought that I thought her and her husband was in a relationship where they had an open marriage and he was cuckolded. So that's what I'm trying to think too, because I remember that article, and she was kissing other police officers' wives and engaging in threesomes and this and that, and the husband basically was acting like a pure biatch, like he couldn't do anything about it or whatever. And at no point in time, from what we heard of anything before in the previous articles, did it seem like she was just, harassing this. It seemed like she was down for it. And basically some of the actions and stuff that she was doing right in front of the husband. The husband didn't do anything about it. So I'm a little bit confused on that myself right there, because like I said before, it seemed like she was in an open relationship. The husband knew about it. She had a fling. She was messing around with one of the cops' wives and this and that as well with the cop and this and that. And all of a sudden, she just this poor little orphan who just went down the wrong road and was just eaten alive by the big bad wolf. And it won't be long before I can hear her saying, like you said, original also, when she be talking about what these black men did to her, already, and the first thing that be coming out of her mouth, she be talking about he was so big and he was so black and I just couldn't do anything and all this other nonsense. So you permit, you got to go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I just wanted to say about the HBCUs. If you look at a lot of the board members on a lot of these HBCUs, they have a lot of white folks on there, and plus anything with an A&M or A&T like FAMU, Florida A&M, that's agriculture mechanical, Alabama A&M, agriculture mechanical, North Carolina A&T, agriculture and technical, Prairie View A&M. Those are STEM-based colleges. Those are the colleges that you're going to see a lot of more non-Black Americans attend, a lot more international students, we used to call international students on campus, which has grown. So those schools are being targeted, being mixed. A lot of money is poured into those programs, and that's why they enroll a lot more of their kids. Alabama A&M has an Asian department head over the engineering department. So you're going to see more of that in the future. And this is the excuse it's going to be. The excuse is going to be, well, we don't have enough Black kids applying to these schools. So that's why we have to seek enrollment elsewhere. Who remembers that white lady that was hired at Morehouse last year, given that position as chief officer for enrollment, right? Enrollment, recruitment, and strategic marketing. She didn't even have she studied marketing at, I think it's Florida State, but she didn't it didn't say on her LinkedIn profile if she graduated. She just says study marketing. Those of us who have bachelor's degrees and are higher up will put BS degree in whatever, BA degree in whatever. It didn't classify what was her degree in. So that leads me to say she didn't complete her degree. But that's what's happening with our HBCUs. Your Howard University, your Hampton University, a couple more years from now, they're going to be classified your first international HBCUs. Watch and see what happens. Now, yes, there's a lot of non-Black Americans running these schools, but you also have to remember there is also a lot of Black Americans that sit on these boards that allow this stuff to happen. And I landed with that. Now, with this Maegan lady, that chief of police failed to do his job. I'm not saying what she did. I'm looking at it from an administrative perspective. He failed to do his job. You know why? Once he discovered as the chief of police that this his subordinate was engaging in that type of behavior, he should have went to the PBA and Human Resources on her. Why? To cover his ass and also to primarily cover his ass. Because if he knowingly and willfully knew what was going on in his department as a leader, he should have reported all that stuff out to cover himself. If you don't do that as a leader, you're just as guilty, because now he has to do damage control and try to make it seem like what she's stating is not true. But if he didn't put a legitimate call into Human Resources to cover himself, this is why she is able to snowball all her stories, because nothing was put on paper. And I landed there.
Thank you. You permit you right. He should have went ahead and did something when he started to find out that kind of stuff was going on, because she practically seemed like she was screwing a decent number of the guys that was up there at the actual police station as well too. So he had to actually look out for himself and also the other employees working there as well too. So I'm in agreement with you on that. The fact that he didn't, this just escalated, and now she's gonna try to use this as a paper trail, like I say. But one thing too, I still want to know, because they sit up here and they talked about her husband and her husband being a cuckold and all this other stuff, and at parties and this and that, and her making out with a police officer's wife and this and that. So I just want to know how all of that's going to play out as well too, because you going ahead now and you giving a sob story, and you got those crocodile tears flowing and stuff, but it's kind of a paper trail as well too, with the text messages and this and that and all that other kind of stuff as well too. So we're going to definitely see what's up on this, because this case ain't going nowhere no time soon. I knew a couple months ago, whenever it dropped, that, because like I said, we talked about it. I knew it wasn't going to go away. I knew that they weren't going to let this girl be embarrassed like this with a bunch of black men, especially too. Had it been a bunch of white men that was just white men she was sleeping with or whatever, they may have been able to live this down some. But the fact that a good number of those guys was black guys and this and that, and this thing made national news. Every outlet was covering, every outlet was talking about it. Yeah, it's not going to go away just like that. I can see that. Let me go ahead and kick it to Iron Malt. Iron Malt, how you doing?
Doing good, man. What that thing saying, the husband was what you call a coke. That thing saying they probably got some or something. But anyway, saying as far as the colleges, the thing is, yes, she got a whole lot of other folks going to these HBCUs at Langston University. They got a real good veterinary program and stuff, and most of those folks in the area go there. Oklahoma State was trying to, access them and have them part of their campus also. So it's more. It seems like to me it's more percentage of other folks going to HBCUs than black folks going into the colleges, unless they some type of immigrants or some type of athlete. But other than that, like I said, a whole lot of them going to HBCUs, and they know they can get quick scholarships and a lot of training. So I'll land my plane there.
All right, thank you, I appreciate that. We're gonna go Leon, and we're gonna go Governor, DJ. Anybody else that wants to speak as well too, go ahead and request a microphone. Come on up here. We're talking about Howard University. The white cat, Michael, what's his name? Michael Newman, who's suing them for $2 million on racism, racial discrimination, he claims. And then we got Maegan Hall too. And let's not forget, this thing with Maegan Hall also has a big time racial component to it as well too. When you had like I said, that many black men involved in this right here, oh yeah, race is playing a factor in here as well too. Shout out to you, Eleanor. How you doing on YouTube as well? Go ahead, Leon. You got it.
Thank you, Newstoter. What's up? You, the DJ, you permit original, black. Let's see, I thought some relative in here too. Black pressure, what's going on? How everybody's doing tonight? Yeah, I've been following this Howard University thing. I posted it on my page too. a week or two ago, and what I'm gathering, what the information that you already have, what I am gathering, this is my personal belief. I think he was sent there as an agent. He had this plan from the jump, just to be a provocateur. Professor Black Truth had put it in his show this morning. He broke it down to
he broke it. He broke it down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, I think the kid was just a stone white supremacist agent, just to be a provocateur there, and nothing more, nothing less. This lawsuit, I don't know what proof he does have. It's kind of funny though, because you're suing the school. You went there for law school, so that staff there at the law department is going to know their stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be in for a run. I did state it before. I think he might win, but with the more information that I know now from back then, I don't think he's going to win shit. But it's just the point that he's just trying to smear Black HBCU school. He won't be the first nor the last. We're going to have a lot of these infiltrators that's going to be coming in doing this bullshit. I mean, it just sucked that it happened. I'm kind of glad it got out. The information's getting out. As you can tell, it's still not hitting major news that I know of yet. I ain't hear nobody from major news saying anything about it. Of course not, because it deals with Black people. If they ain't, if it ain't dead or rape or anything like that, it ain't gonna never make white media. Let's just make that clear, But the cop claims grooming. Is this still that lady from Tennessee?
Yeah, it's the
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Lady. There ain't no lady.
Well, whatever you want to call it, piece of trash.
She a woman. Yeah, she a woman. We call that a woman of the night. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm sure them brothers did too. And the funny thing is, when that story broke out, they were only talking about the four brothers, and they reprimanded them, fired them. And when they came back, when the white officers and the sergeant and the head captain of the department did their thing on her too, and allegedly I heard the canine department too, and maybe that poor little dog. I feel so bad for him. So, like I said, when all the other story came out, you know how it is when it comes to white supremacy. They got shook. They was like, oh shit, it ain't just the black one that ran the train on them. So we got they had to get the PR department and quick. We got to hush this up. So instead of firing them, we're gonna reprimand all of them, get suspended, and we're gonna have to fire her because she's ugly anyway. So she's just gonna have to take an L. You know how that is, because if she was actually attractive, they would have just put her on administrative duty or something like that and let it die and let the whole thing die down. But since she's butterface, we all know what a butterface is. So she might be a butterface. So they got to get rid of her. It is just what it is. I'll land there.
Real talk, Leon, and she definitely is what they consider gorgeous or good looking. The money would already probably be on the table right now for her. So, like I said, they still gonna try to find Becky Ann a way of getting some money here. They ain't done yet. So just keep your eyes on this one. Yeah, we talked about this a while ago, and yeah, when I saw it pop up a couple days ago back in the newsroom, I'm like, you can't be serious. And like this chick now, she done totally spit the whole story now. So, oh boy, here we go. Governor, how you doing tonight?
Hey, just real quick. Hey, Leon. So Night Drop over on YouTube said, like a pimp named Slipback said, "What lady, sir? This here is a hoe." You know what I'm saying? For those that know about your Boondocks gang, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Gov. What's good, brother? Liquor store in the building.
Oh man, what's up with everybody? How y'all doing?
What's up?
Now, I used to Howard University is in my backyard, and I used to park my car. It was a black Mustang 05 and 05. I used to park it right there on Gresham, and that's where the gymnasium is. And you know what I'm saying? I used to get the numbers and things like that. It was a good time. The best wing spot in DC, if you want the mumbo sauce, right there on the corner of Gresham and Georgia Avenue. I digress. I really wanted to come up here and talk about the shorty cop. You know what I'm saying? The skeezer, the jump off. She has a case because if she's claiming grooming, when you get into these organizations, the females, they get together, they start talking and things like that. They tell each other stories. But when she took that route, and then, it made it public and things like that, she has a case. But so do the black male officers, because they lost their job based off of what she did. So if she has a case, so do those brothers. And they need to put those people in the institution's life. I'm gonna land right there.
All right, Governor, appreciate that. DJ, you want to say something real quick before You Permit comes back?
No, let Permit go. Go ahead.
I just want to say, them brothers might have a case, but the reason why she came out now with being victim and people taking advantage of her psychic, her mind, I think I read that, she had expressed that she was in an unstable relationship and they basically went after her due to her current marital status. But it goes back to this. If that police chief did not have shit in writing, that's why, because I'm telling you, this is what happens in these companies. When you hear about lawsuits and sexual harassments and stuff, when you get involved with department heads and everything, they know if nothing's in writing, this is where you can pounce on it. So they look for any little crack in the situation. They say, well, okay, well, did the police chief contact this person and mention that? No. Okay, now you can start the snowball effect. Go down that you're the white woman in what was that movie in Florida? He raped me and all that.
Rosewood.
That's why, because
Rosewood.
So she's playing that white woman in Rosewood. That's what's happening. She's playing that white woman in Rosewood because there's nothing else. If there's nothing documented from that police captain, and they knew something was not documented in him, she's going to get paid. And that's a lesson taught. That's why I tell a lot of people, especially young people in management, follow your policy and procedures to the T. Because soon as you deviate from that shit, your ass is just as guilty as everybody else. He should have went ahead and filed, even if it didn't go anywhere. Hey, listen, I'm calling you up, letting you know, to investigate this with one of my subordinates, because rumors out that she's doing things, and they can trace that shit back because they can follow the GPS on these police cars. If they met up, they can trace the whereabouts of these police cars. Because I think she said it was about they would meet her in the parking lots and over here, so they can trace that shit back. And if he would have went ahead and put that shit in, and they would have had just a mere discussion with her, it would have got out to them other officers that, damn, HR's involved. Let me slow my shit up. But evidently, she was on the boat with the PBA, union delegate. But nobody's mentioning about that. So everything is going to fall on the face of this black police chief, which I still say was still set up. Because that white town that he was overseeing, now they talking about revamping and looking out and trying to fix and repair and all that shit. They just wanted them out, period. And I like it.
All right. Thank you that You Permit. Real quick before we get to you, Governor, up in the Jumbotron, guys, is actual YouTube the Newstoter YouTube as well as a newsletter. Please go ahead and subscribe to both of those. Go ahead and subscribe to both of those. We're getting a couple subscriptions here and there. So let's go ahead. If you're on the actual those in the space right now, if you can, it's on the right hand side, maybe the third or fourth one over. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel while we actually have the space going right now. So please go ahead and subscribe. And when you get a chance, also subscribe to the actual newsletter as well too. If you can, please support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, largest Black American-owned media news curation platform today in America. Once again, that is $Newstoter, $Newstoter. If you don't have a Cash App, the Venmo and PayPal is up in the Jumbotron as well too. For those that's on YouTube that may want to contribute, you can check the actual description and you'll catch those links for the Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal as well too. Governor, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna add in that I didn't know there was a black chief. I was listening just a little bit. But yeah, he's the token, and he'll be the fall guy. What I know about organizations and institutions is they work in the gray. So an institution really works in the gray. They really don't have policies as far as, fraternization, flirting, and things like that. It's at your discretion. So if internal affairs did not get involved after, the first man wiped off, the crust of the donut stick, if you understand what I mean, then yeah, she does have a case. But so do those other gentlemen. Because if they lost their career because of something that was written in the gray, they got a case too, and they just got to follow through. But the most expensive thing is, counsel. They got to find the right lawyer to represent them, because there's not a lot of black employment lawyers that take cases like this. So, yeah, that's the short end of the stick that the brothers get.
Appreciate that, Governor. Like I say, from my understanding, from when we read the article and we talked about it last time, there is quite a paper trail as well too. So whoever however this thing goes, there's also stuff that's dating back to her life as well too. So I don't really know. I don't know if she actually did have to seek some actual treatment for depression or this and that or whatever, but I know from what I understand that there was quite a bit like a text messaging and people meeting at each other's houses and this and that. So there's a big paper trail going on. So she may have a case, and the simple fact, let's be honest here, she is a white woman and she is saying that all of this stuff happened here. So it wouldn't surprise not one person in this actual space if she got her a settlement for what went on. Because then she's going to say that, hey, I was ridiculed. My face was all over social media. I was in every major news outlet. So yeah. I mean, nobody would be totally shocked, even though she, from what my understanding, it seemed like she was a willing participant of it. And let's be honest here, there's a lot of hanky panky that goes on in the workplace. There's a whole lot. So I don't know if this woman's, from what she said, her supervisors pretty much coerce her into doing things that she didn't want to do. But it seems like I said before, it was well known, it was said before numerous times that she was in an open relationship. Her husband was a cuckold, that things happened in front of the husband acted like he didn't like it, but it was nothing he can do about it, basically, whatever. So, all of this stuff here that she's talking about, all of this stuff is going to be played out as well too. So we just got to kind of wait and see. But I definitely understand what you permit and Governor saying, both of them, because both of them, what they're saying makes sense. You permit is right. Like when this stuff started, it had to be some kind of whisperings about this stuff. She couldn't been screwing that many men at the workplace and nobody said anything about it. That it was just totally silent. Like some of this stuff had to be getting around. Some of it had to be heard. I would think. So the simple fact that the black chief, he didn't do it. He didn't do anything to protect himself and potentially any other of his employees. That kind of does fall back on him some as well too. But like I said, it seems like, who knows how many years this was actually going on, because this couldn't have been going on just for a few months. It had to be going on for a while. And to be intimate with that many different men at the workplace And then, like I said, people hanging out after the workplace, they going to parties and this and that or whatever. I remember something about a hot tub. Like I said, it's been over a month or so that, you know, we talked about this. You know, I just don't know. I just have to wait and see exactly what's what. Because, like I said, it seemed like it was an avalanche of stuff as well. So I'm kind of interested to see exactly what they're going to talk about. Because, yeah, she may have a case. And I don't know if you said like the black guys or governor said that they may have a case as well, too. There might be a whole lot of people in this situation that have cases as well, too. But you do have to realize that the person that probably stands the most to gain from this, because they'll say her reputation was damaged the most, would probably be her. And the fact of the matter, like I say, she is a woman, and most importantly, she is a white woman who was the butt of a lot of jokes. You know, a lot of jokes, social media memes and press clippings and videos and you name it. You know, a lot of people talked about this woman here. So it's just interesting to see exactly how this is going to play out. DJ, you got it. Go ahead. You there, DJ?
Yeah, my bad and shit. So, what you call? I just want to switch it up back to the Howard University thing. So basically, if you was in those spaces where Miss Giselle and Brother Moko was doing, they pretty much came up with the conclusion that only about 10 out of, like, what is it, like 140 HBCUs or something like that, only 10 of them were actually founded by actual Black Americans. You know? So all these other ones, yeah, just got the name on there and they just been grifting. You know, and this is what Dr. Martin Luther King was saying. Hey, you know, they're giving away millions of acres of land. These people got money for reparations, man. They just don't want to give us our shit until we group up and go at them and say, hey, we want our money. Yep. Legislatively, of course, though, but you know, it is what it is, though, bro. So you're gonna have to do your homework if you're trying to go to an HBCU nowadays that was actually historically built by a Black person. And for what, again, though, quoting Miss Giselle and Brother Moko trying to get them up here, only 10 of them out of like 100 or so is actually founded by Black people. Everything else was funded by endowments and you know, government. So you know that's white hand right there. So this is why a lot of these white students actually go to HBCUs too, because they are white schools at the end of the day. I yield.
Yeah, and you make a valid point, and we pretty much know that most of them, you know, were pretty much founded by. I think it's something. It's supposed to be like 107 HBCUs, 110 or something. It's 100 or whatever HBCUs in America, but we know that the vast majority of them, like after slavery and stuff, was actually the actual money was actually put into them by a lot of these. I don't want to say white organizations, but white folks or whatever who kind of had the mindset that, hey, we're going to give you the education that we feel that you deserve to have, that the kind of education. I don't want to say they were indoctrinated.
Yeah, that's why I said endowment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, it was loaned and granted to be funded in these people's names and shit. You know what I mean? But go ahead, though.
But yeah, but you right about that. So yeah, now I know, like in terms of Mary McLeod Bethune, I believe that she actually took a lot of, you know, took money and stuff like that and actually founded Bethune-Cookman. You know, at the time it was for girls and stuff like that. And she really had to hustle to get it done and stuff like that. But damn, if you're talking about 100 and some odd HBCUs and only 10 of them were actually founded by Black people, then you got to also look to, after slavery, like what kind of finances as Black people did we have to go and start an institution like that, a college? So we just come out of slavery. The vast majority of us was illiterate. We had nothing but the shirt on our backs. You know, we definitely were second-class citizens. We were hated on, and so many of these universities. I know you had a good amount of start up north as well too, but you probably have more HBCUs in the South as well too. So exactly, you know, how are we going to really go ahead and form these HBCUs, because we just didn't have a capital and, you know, the know-how or anything like that as well too. So not surprising whatsoever. Not surprising that's the case. Let me read a question. Let me read a comment real quick from YouTube Nightfall. It says a few HBCUs were created by former slave owners for the benefit of their mulatto children to get an education. I know that's the origin of FIST, and I wouldn't doubt that as well too. You had a few slave owners and stuff that felt that their kids should have that black children should have an education and stuff like that too. So I definitely wouldn't doubt that Nightfall. And as bad as Thomas Jefferson was, he may even thought that some of his children had some kind of training and skills as well too. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't doubt that. And Nightfall, I got the story. I saw that you put it up. You put it in the jumbotron, but I saw that also that you had DM me as well too. So I'm gonna check that out when I get a chance as well too. Original, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, what DJ was saying about the HBCUs being most of them being founded by white folks, that is true because see, in the Atlanta University Center, Morris Brown is the only school that was founded by black people. And what was so funny about it, see, Spelman and Morehouse and it used to be Clark College, and they merged with Atlanta University, became Clark Atlanta. They would always just talk so pejoratively about Morris Brown. People would say things like, "Oh, Morris Brown would take anybody," but you know what? Even if they took somebody, if they had a 1.0 GPA, by the time they graduated from Morris Brown, if they wasn't at the top of their class, they was damn close, close to it. And so that in itself, I mean, you have that dynamic with a number of these HBCUs where you have the ones that were founded by, black folks, and that's one of the reasons why I believe they were those people who were sent to Morris Brown tried to destroy it. But luckily, because I had someone that was asking me, but I did donate money to Morris Brown when they was going through their financial issue. And someone was saying to me, well, I wouldn't give them any money. I said, look, this is what our ancestors left us. And damn it, if we're not willing to try to maintain what they left us, then we deserve what we get, And so that's how, and that's the mindset of quite a number of black folk. They don't feel like that we should do anything for any of these schools, but unless white folks are doing it, then they're gonna jump on the bandwagon at that point. They most definitely will. But and I wouldn't be surprised if you go to some of these other schools that was founded by black people. I would bet you they have that same stigma as the other schools here in Atlanta, as the Morehouse and others there about Morris Brown. I would say they have that same stigma too, and I'll land with that.
Thank you, Original. You permit. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
I just want to, Howard, there's a book out. I can't recall the name, but it was discussed in another room. And it actually told the story about Howard University. Howard University was founded by a white man. And the reason why he started Howard was to send all the mulatto kids to Howard for education, because he wanted those kids to come back to the South, and especially on these plantations, to take over and have specific jobs on these plantations. And that's why the history of Howard has always been suspect, because that school was founded for mulatto kids. They started bringing in Black American kids to that school, but they were separated. So remember that mindset about light skin versus dark skin? In my opinion, that's where it derived from. Because a lot of those schools first started out only for mulatto kids. Then when they started bringing in Black American kids, they kept them separated in these schools. So that's why all that light skin versus dark skin stuff came about. It started at some of these HBCUs because they kept them separated in these classrooms, and I landed there.
You made a very valid point, and Nightfall, he touched up on that. He said that he touched up on that for actually Fisk University as well too, saying that. So like I say, it's not unusual. I mean, we know that a lot of you and I'm not going to say a lot, but you had a number of actual former slave owners that had Black children or mixed children, and they went ahead and they tried to put them in positions, I guess maybe they felt something. They felt a little bit of something for them that they because a lot of slave owners didn't even look at them as their kids, even though they knew they were their kids. But I guess you had some slave owners say, "Well, hey, at least let me do something halfway decent for them or whatever. Try to give them some kind of education or training or something like that to help them actually live a better life than the other ones out there." So yeah, not surprising at all. Not surprising that in a lot of these cases that you had some black people actually or you had even though they're mixed. I think we still I still look at them as black to a certain because that's how society treated them at that time. More than likely, if they had no more than likely if they had to go live somewhere, they was going to live around black people. If they had to marry somebody, it'd either be another mulatto or it'd be a black person. They weren't going to marry a white one. So I definitely get that they were treated a little bit different. They were treated better in the eyes of white folks, but they, at the same time, they maybe was half a step up from the actual black people and stuff on those plantations as well too. So I definitely feel what you're saying, and yeah, I mean, yeah, they definitely they use this and they use it and they use that to build some of these universities and colleges up. Even though they did, I will say this, even though they went ahead and they supplied the money and stuff like that, you did have the actual groundwork and stuff, the construction and the building and stuff that was hands on by black people themselves. Or black people actually built these universities up with their own hand and blood and sweat, and they put their souls behind it as well too. So, and let's be for real, black folks built up a lot of the actual some of these Ivy League schools and some of these other colleges and stuff that these elite colleges that we know today was built off of slave labor. No, they didn't finance it, but they actually did go out there and build it. So just to put that point out there as well too. Go ahead, you permit.
Yeah, I just want to also piggyback what you just said about Fisk University, Howard, Hampton, Dillard, Tougaloo College. What do they all have in common? Medical and law. Years of medical and law. So when they sent those mulatto kids to those schools, their primary focus was to get into the medical profession, doctors, and the law profession, lawyers. So there's a pattern with that. Look at the pattern of those schools founded by white folks that were specifically designed to enroll mulatto kids. A lot of them strengths are medical professions, doctors primarily, and lawyers. Look at the trends when you do your research on that. And I guarantee you that'll be the main focus of these colleges that was founded by white folks and had a lot of mulatto kids in there. And I'll land.
Thank you, Permit. And get back because I don't want to get too far off the topic from from the lawsuit that the white boy at Harvard's doing and the actual female cop and her trying to sue and get some money as well too. But that's one reason why we had to look at it and see that hey, that's one reason that you're going to keep having I'm not going to say a high level of whites at these HBCUs, but you're going to have white people at these HBCUs because at the end of the day, like DJ said, they were the ones more than likely that funded it and helped for the creation of the actual universities as well too. So in the back of their mind, and they feel like too that you're getting state and federally funded, you're getting money from us. So we control you, we putting you out here, we doing this, we doing that. So at the end of the day, we have a say exactly how you're gonna be running. And that's another reason why these HBCUs, they take the money, but they also have to tiptoe around certain issues as well too. So Leon, you got it.
Thanks again. I don't know how you're going to be able to tiptoe something like that when, like I said, that guy, that boy, whatever you want to call him, was Caucasoid, as my man Professor like to call him, in there infiltrate and try to do harm. But that's all what he was doing because, it's bad enough he had a chip over his shoulder when he walked up in there. Then he was just, like I said, he was just trying to be pretty much a provocateur and just cause chaos and mayhem because that's what white supremacy does best, cause chaos and mayhem. We see it all over the world. Nothing new. It just baffles me. And I can't say if the department or how he got in or the enrollment department didn't notice it or nothing like that because you really can't. They say he had a private Twitter account. Only the students was calling him out on it. Maybe the faculty should have listened to the students more and maybe could have got a better jump on how this guy was being. But I think they kind of did, because this could have went much worse. This could have been a school shooting or whatever have you. You know what I mean? This could have got a lot worse. So I'm kind of glad that they kind of, you know. So yeah, the end result is a lawsuit. So what? At least lives has not been taken. You know what I mean? Not laying there.
Yeah, and he figures that if he go ahead and he sues for $2 million, maybe they'll settle for $200,000 out of court or something like that. They don't have to worry about paying the $2 million. So he's trying to go ahead and game it up and trying to get. He knows he's not going to get $2 million, but you set that price up there. You get $100,000, maybe $200,000, and it's all worth it. He goes to another college. I'm sure if he can show that he defeated Howard, you have one of these white PI universities, WPIs, go ahead and bring him in there and applaud him and tell him what a good kid he is and this and that. So at the end of the day, like I say, it's a situation that hopefully Howard can come out victorious. I definitely hope they defeat this kid. He was looking to start some up. He talked about people calling, and let's be for real. You can't help if the student body calls him names. If they did call him Mayo or whatever, that's no reflection on Howard University. Howard University can't stop that. Of course, if they find students doing that, they can discipline and this and that or whatever. But if you're online and things of that nature and people saying stuff, there's nothing you can do about it. And if he didn't go ahead and report it right away, you say, well, Bobby over there called me Mayo or this or that or whatever. How can you hold Howard University responsible? Every month, every few weeks, you're hearing about all kind of racist incidents on these campuses and stuff like that. And I tweet them out all the time. People finding a noose and all kind of disparaging graffiti talking about black people and this and that on these college campuses and stuff like that. They're not getting hit with lawsuits. I mean, they have black students out there that have to go through this all the time. We're seeing every month, every other week, it seems like every few weeks, these I'm talking about major universities having these type of incidents out there, and they're not getting hit with lawsuits. Nobody's suing them for $2 million. But this cat here, he probably, he couldn't cut the mustard there. He got upset. The people probably checked his ass, and now he wants to use that as an excuse, and he wants to blame Howard University for his shortcomings. So hopefully Howard can go ahead, like I said. He doesn't get anything. I hope they have everything documented. This guy probably, who knows how long he was going back and forth with this type of nonsense as well, too. So Aunt Laura was just up here. I was going to let her come up here and speak, but I see she dropped back now. I see Brother McCoo coming up here. Let me let Brother McCoo get up here real quick.
Hey, while you doing that real quick, everybody getting the Jumbotron, a lot of information there. Get on the far left side if you are an HBCU attendant or alumni. Come up to social, soxcil.com, and get in our HBCU room. We could use some alumni and current faculty or students, associates to come up and help run the room. Social, soxcil.com. Shout out to Black Majority in the room.
Yeah, shout out to Black Majority up in the room as well, too, guys. Brother McCoo, I see you came up here. Did you want to add something?
Nah, brother, I was just listening. I did want to ask Howard University. They in the midst of some shit with that swimming team. It's not a lot of black swimmers on that team. That whole league is, the swimmers are dominated by white people. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing that's going on in Howard. They the only black HBCU right now. They got a swimming team, and that's a big thing that they trying to be, the forefront of that. So there's a lot of stuff going on with Howard right now, and I believe that I don't know what's going on with the lawsuit with the female, but I know that we should look forward to a lot of lawsuits coming up because a lot of our children are being systematically taken out of the sports that are less damaging to them, like golf, tennis, stuff like that, so just not something else we need to pay attention to. That's all.
All right. Thank you, Brother McCoo. Like I say, and somebody correct me in my wrong, but is Howard has the most students of any HBCU? Isn't it the largest HBCU in the country? Does anybody know? Because I believe it has the the highest enrollment of any HBCU in the United States. I'm not totally sure about that, but I want to say that Howard is the largest HBCU in the country. If anybody can find it out real quick, go ahead and find it out and let me know, because I know, Howard is some would consider the most prestigious HBCU as well too. And I know you have other ones that may disagree with that, but Howard is always considered the upper echelon, one of the upper echelon HBCUs in the entire country. So, and you guys can find it out. I believe Howard is the largest HBCU in the United States. I could be wrong, but I want to say that they're the largest or the biggest HBCU in the United States. But between, like I said, both of these topics tonight had a racial component to it. The white boy straight out said that it was racial discrimination against him too, and the white girl, she's saying it too, but she's just not saying it. She's already she's in the most taboo situation that you could possibly be in. The fact that she was this this sex toy basically, and she was passed around, and a good number of the actual people that was passing around were actually black men. It gets no more taboo than that. So she's definitely, and Governor and You Permit was saying, she's definitely looking for that bag, and she definitely do not be surprised if this white chick don't walk away with a 6 or 7 figure settlement as well too. It would surprise, I'm sure, nobody in this space. It definitely wouldn't surprise me at all either, because when it first came out, I felt she was going to get something. So I definitely, like I say, I definitely feel that she's going to get something before it's all said and done. No matter that she was a willing participant or not, the simple fact that she's going to, the mental anguish on her and everything else, she's going to use it as document. She's going to start pulling up all of these actual screenshots and this and that and everything that went on. And, do not be surprised if she doesn't walk away with a 6 or 7 figure lawsuit, because I just see that coming. And when it first came out, I laughed about
being a whole Newstoter. You really think she's going to get all that money just for being a whore?
But we in America though, like, I mean, and look at who she was being a whore with. She's already giving you the framework, Leon. She's already just just giving you the step-by-step detail. She's summarizing it.
What is she suing for? She can't sue for defamation of character because it's her character. She already exposed her character to the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, what can really she sue for?
This chick said that she was vulnerable and she was dominated in an apartment by department by older men.
White crocodile tears.
Hey, but you talking about a group of people that's some of the best actors on earth as well too. So I mean, think about what she's laying the framework. She was preyed upon by predators at her place of employment, is what she's saying, by older men. Her words, Leon, she was looking for guidance and they preyed upon her. They took advantage of her. That's what she's saying.
And was preying on her. Right.
Hey, she looked like, to all of us in here, she looked like she was a willing participant. Had this stuff not come out, this girl would still be doing this. She wouldn't have slowed up at all. Like I say, the husband, the articles, we read it before. We heard the husband, like he had no control over the wife. The wife totally ran over him, did what she wanted to do. And the husband sat there and he took it. So, like I say, but the ordeal led Hall, the boss of self-harm, leaving her hospitalized in December of 2022. That's what I'm saying. That she's trying to go ahead and she's trying to frame it out right now. She's trying to put everybody in her shoes and let you know how bad she felt, that she was sexually exploited.
I know one thing. She's gonna need a white male judge to pull that shit off. Because if I think she get a white female judge, I seriously doubt she's gonna buy that bullshit.
I don't know. Like they say, I mean, they pretty much stick together. So I mean, don't be surprised. The whole thing about being on code, that when we talk about being on code, when you go up there in the judicial system, you up there in the criminal justice system, and it's time like a time like this comes up, do not be surprised if they're not all on code. Now they may look at her as being just pure slutty and trailer trash and this and that or whatever, but at the same time, they's like, hey, we just can't let this woman be walked over by all these black men. What may happen to my daughter? You may have 4 or 5 black men running through her if we don't stand up and do something about it. So you got to always look at that point of view that a lot of them think about, like, hey, we just can't, yeah, she may be the crummiest out of us. She may be the biggest piece of white trash, but she's still our trash. And we got to go ahead and we got to do something to make sure that this doesn't it's already becoming the norm. They look at TV, you look at the NBA, and you look at all of those kids now. Now, for those of us that grew up in the 90s, look at the NBA today and look at the NBA back in the 90s. Look at the actual, yes, the NBA is still majority black, but when you look at the NBA in the 90s, it was much blacker. And by much black, I mean that today you have much more mixed children playing basketball, professional basketball, than you ever had. The NBA, if the NBA is 60%, I would not doubt if 15 to 25% at least is mixed, and that wasn't the case. Back in the 90s, you may have had 3 to 5% that was mixed.
Hey, Newstoter, remember that movie He Got Game with Denzel?
Yeah.
Remember who was the real life basketball player that was playing his son? Ray Allen. Ray Allen, yeah. Remember Ray Allen was going to those recruitments on campus?
Yeah, with the white girls. Yeah.
A whole room full of white girls.
Yeah.
And they were doing anything, everything to him.
As soon as he walked on campus.
That was the norm back then. Probably still the norm now, but I'm just saying that was the norm back then.
And I don't doubt, yeah, it was a norm. It was always been a recruiting tool. But but when you look back, when you look at the 80s and look at the 90s basketball, and you see that you did not have the level of mixed kids playing basketball that you have now. And the same with the NFL as well, too. You got a lot of mixed guys in the NFL as compared to the 90s. That's not to say that you didn't have any, because yeah, you had some. But I'm saying that it's a whole nother, it's astronomical compared to what it used to be. When you look at the NFL draft and you see the cats up there draft, I think it was last year, I saw one of these cats from Alabama getting drafted. I kid you not, oh boy, black dude. The whole damn room was white. Like, I mean, the girls was white. Their parents was in there. The people that was cheering them on, I mean, it was just everybody up in the room, in the draft room with him was white. And I'm like, damn, I think he actually went viral on the internet. He actually went viral on Twitter. Everybody was talking about, like, they was talking about the milk draft room and stuff like that. You didn't see that back. And trust me, I used to watch the draft back in the day.
There was one dude that got drafted. It was him. Then I think it was like, I don't know who white parents they were. Then the girlfriend was there, or his fiance, and then it was like another girl was right next to him, like on the other side, like that was the side piece. So I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And it was during the draft.
So that's what I'm saying. And my man Nightfall, he said that we on the case that we need Judge Olu Stevens on there to be the judge on there to make sure we get a fair trial. Like, he ain't lying about that. But I'm saying, man, like they gonna look at this white girl and they be like, look, yeah, she's trash. Yeah, she's a tramp. Yeah, she's all of this and much more. But hey, there's a bunch of our daughters out here that are tramps and all this and everything else too, but we just can't let them just go all willy-nilly like that or whatever. Like, and just, they're going to try to secure this girl a bag here, man. Like, they're going to try, like, she already done laid the framework. She already made herself this victim. Oh, they're grooming and this and that. And poor me, I came here and I thought they were going to help me and teach me how to be a good cop and whatnot. And instead of them teaching me how to be a good cop, they were actually handcuffing me up in the actual police department and doing all kind of nasty things to me. She's already laying that framework. She's already letting you know that, hey, this is how it went down. I was misused and I was abused. I tried to actually be part of the team with them, but no, when I try to go in and I try to talk to people seriously, they want me to dance, they want me to wear certain outfits and this and that. They just constantly harass me. They help ruin my marriage. That'll be the next thing as well too.
She was part of the
Hey, she was. I mean, she was part of the tag team, but hey, I mean, but nonetheless, well, like I say, man, this is America, and in America, they gonna make sure that bag, if they can go ahead and kick it to Becky, Becky gonna go ahead, like you say, she got the butter face and whatnot, but they don't give a damn. They're gonna go ahead and make sure that she go ahead and get paid off of this right here. This girl should have took her ass and sat down and tried to disappear and let this stuff blow over. That's what she should have did. But she said, hey, somebody got in her ear and told her, like, hey, you can sue them and get a lot of money for what they did to you. And she said, oh, well, you know what? I can sue them and get a lot of money, and I will sue them and get a lot of money. I don't want to have to work at no waitress. She said she was working at a restaurant, and she ended up losing. She couldn't take it because she was constantly being picked at. She's like, I don't want to be a waitress. And she's thinking, like, in the long term. Hey, that might come down the road too as well. But why not do the OnlyFans account after you go ahead and you get a 6 or 7 figure deal, a 6 or 7 figure settlement, which is possible because the police department and the mayor of the city and stuff like that, they may not want any more like bad attention heaped on the actual police department. So like, look, go ahead, let's go ahead and give an undisclosed amount. Let's go ahead and do an NDA. And let's just go ahead and put this behind us and let's move forward. Not only thing, like you said, if they settle with her, though, you got to settle with some of those black cops as well, too. But who knows how they're going to be railroaded, how they're going to be looked at. So people they've been already fired as well, too. So you don't know how this is going to play out, really, when we look at it.
That's what I was saying before about when I heard about that case. It didn't make no damn sense. I'm like, man, why only 4 black cops got fired? And then the rest of the story came out. You had all the white. I think we had two Latino cops, and you had all the white cops and the captain of the goddamn police department got in on her. So it's like, okay, there's more to the story than just the 4 black cops.
Man, it ain't no telling who got a piece of this girl in that town, in that city, wherever they live at. To be honest, they talking about the cops and stuff like that.
The local judge.
She don't seem like she was too picky on who she decided to give it up to. So it's no telling who was all with this chick right here. I mean, these are just the guys that she worked with. The husband, she ran over him. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't stop her. Basically, he tried or whatever, and she told him to kick rocks. So she pretty much had her way. And like I say, she was living the life of Raleigh until they end up all getting fired. And when they got fired, and that's when everything hit the fan. And now it's spin city time. We got to go ahead and we got to respin this thing, and we got to go ahead and get full control of it. So that's what she's pretty much doing, man. She's looking for that money. That lawyer done gassed up as well, too, because that lawyer thinking about that 30% as well, too. Like, yeah, we can go ahead and we can do this and we can get paid from this. So, like I say, we don't know exactly what amount she's suing for. But like I say, I'm sure you're going to try to set the number up high. So whenever that settlement, they actually negotiate and it comes down, like, hey, do you think you can? How do you feel about taking after my cut $250,000? Oh yeah, well if you're not working anywhere, you're not no money's coming in, and then like I say, you gotta look at book deals down the road and everything else, her little memoirs, and I mean, and she can do a little circuit and she can tour and she can talk about it, get paid for speaking if she chooses to. I don't know if she wants to relive all of that, but opportunity, she's trying to strike right now with her irons hot. And that's what she's doing. She didn't waste too much time. She said, hey, I got fired. I was wrongfully terminated. So let me go ahead and get everything lined up the way it's supposed to be lined up.
From cop to hoe. That's the novel.
And that would be quite the title too, as well, too. Like that could possibly be a New York Times bestseller. She could be a New York Times bestseller. She probably done been disowned by her parents too, man. Think about it. I mean, come on, man. You remember that scene on Jungle Fever when the white girl that Wesley was creeping with, when he was cheating on his wife with, and she messed around and she came home and the dad, he just went ballistic like, a nigga. I would have rather you been with a Chinaman, a Jew, a nigga. I didn't raise you. I raised you to be a good Catholic girl. Hey man, like, hey, don't be surprised at the family. I mean, 4-5 black dudes you done got you've been tied to. Don't be surprised at the family didn't disown this girl here, man. Serious talk. Like, so hey, she tried to come up with this bag right here. So it would not be surprising. I don't think it surprises anybody in this space. We all grown in here, man. It might surprise a teenager or something like that. But for all the grown folks that's been alive for more than 20 years, like, come on, man. It surprises no one up in here. DJ, what's up?
I surprised nobody answered, does Black Lives really matter?
I think she grew up listening to that NWA F the police. Like,
Well, either that, shake that ass, girl. Oh, my bad. No, my bad. Real rap, dirty house music in the building and shit. But I was gonna say, hey, look, I think the husband, if the police that got to defend themselves, if they were smart, they'll get the husband to testify on their behalf. Yo.
That's real talk there.
hell, all they got to do is go back. The article we had it. Hell, the husband was I mean, from what they were saying, the husband was like, "Oh well, yeah, he doesn't like it and this and that or whatever." But like, basically, he couldn't do anything about it. Like, yeah, all they got to do is go back, man, and chart this stuff right here. The husband knew what was going on, so I guess she had a breakdown while she was with the husband and all this and that, and the husband couldn't. I mean, come on, man, stop it, stop. Come on, you tell this stuff to kids. You don't tell this to grown folks. Brother McCoo, go ahead. You got it.
Shit, you already know they made a song about her. She giving up that fat gay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's little Becky. You can't get mad at can't get mad at Becky doing what she did best.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is, man. Like I say, we gonna keep an eye on this story right here, though, man. We gonna keep an eye on this one right here. This was something else right here. This girl here, man. Wow, she's something else. I tell you that.
Hey, brother Moku, the reason I asked you to come up here, I know you and Mr. Zell was doing the breakdowns of the HBCUs, and you said I remember y'all saying that I think it was only 10 of them out of like 100 and some HBCUs was actually founded by black Negro or Freeman American. We break that down for us real quick.
Yeah, about 10 of them were actually found by Freedmen's or Freedmen like associations. All the rest were founded by churches that were led by white people, or just like Irishmen, you know, a lot of railroad workers, a lot of people that didn't have our best interests at heart, nor did they have, they had the control of everything that was being taught in these HBCUs. And a lot of these HBCUs were created by these white people for their half black and white children to go to. So this was a thing, this was a planned thing. This was never something for the best interests of black people. This was something that was for the interests of the white rapists who raped black women and their offspring. This was a place to hide their offspring. You know, Strom Thurmond did this in University of South Carolina with his half white black daughter, Essie Mae. She actually kept a secret long after Strom Thurmond passed away that she was his daughter. But it's things, institutions like this that we have been bamboozled into thinking that we have some type of ownership in when we don't. Even though our ancestors built it, they didn't own it. They didn't control the curriculums that go into these HBCUs that then produce not a historically black person, but it actually produces a historical race collaborator of white supremacy. And, we get sidetracked by sports and all the diversions and distractions. That's not taking anything away from any person that has graduated from any of these institutions. It's just that we got to be real with our words and be honest with our children, because at the end of the day, when your children grow up and they realize that these HBCUs are not historically black, and we have been screaming to them that they are historically black, then you create a divide between the young and the elders. know what I'm saying? Because then we lied to them. You know what I'm saying? I had this young 18-year-old woman, and I'll land after I say this. I was at Morgan State University, and this young lady came up to me with her mother, and she expressed to me how betrayed she felt because how is this an HBCU, Mr. Brother Muko? And it was started by a white man, and I couldn't say anything to this lady. You know what I'm saying? Because she was absolutely right. And so I just say we gotta start being real and honest with our children. If we want to create something historically Black, we have to control the curriculum that's going into it, and have the control to say who teaches our children. We should never have white women teaching our children. Everybody might not agree, but we should not have white people teaching Black children at all. Because there's no way on God's green earth that the birthers or the creators of the redefiners of white supremacy, which is white women, because they breed white supremacists. There's no way on God's green earth that they could be the ones teaching us, and we could come up to be something remotely called pro-Black. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't work that way. So yeah, that's a lot of information that I urge that people do their own individual research on, so that you could know, and you don't no longer have to believe that it's a historically Black college. You'll know that it's not, because you'll know the purpose of it. So I'll land there. I didn't mean to go on.
That's cool. Let me get to Miss D. Miss D, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. How's everybody?
Oh, we doing pretty good.
Well, I'm late to the party. So the husband done turned against the wife now?
No, the husband hadn't said anything, but before he was pretty much saying that, that basically it was pretty much known that they had an open marriage, and that she was doing everything, and she from the articles before, she was even doing stuff in front of him with some of her co-workers. So now she's sitting up here and she was saying that basically she was taken advantage of when she was at work and this and that or whatever. But we were saying, hey, if you go back to some of those articles that was published a month or two ago, whenever this story broke, hey, the husband, from what everybody was saying, the husband actually witnessed her, kissing other women and doing stuff in front of him with her co-workers, her male co-workers. Yeah.
Yeah, in 3 ways. And he said he was going to stick by her.
He sure did. So that's what we trying to figure out. Like, hey, everybody pretty much know you was a wild girl. So now all of a sudden, it's like now we got this whole different narrative now and stuff like that. That you were just the lost babe in the woods type routine that you're trying to pull on everybody.
I'm not shocked, because I knew she was going to be the victim one way, the way she says she's the victim now, or she was going to have some kind of mental problem. They always say, they having a mental problem. They was gonna put it on her mental health.
Yeah, she put that in there as well too. She made sure, like you say, she made sure she covered all her bases as well too. Hold on one second, Tammy. We're gonna get to you next. Yeah, Tammy, you next. We finna get to you next, Tammy. Tammy, we're gonna get to you next. Let Miss D go ahead and finish, and then we got you next. You want to add anything? Go ahead.
I knew it was gonna be something said like that, because they have to play the victim some kind of way, and they know them folks gonna stick beside them while they play victim of some sort. Is either gonna be she had a mental problem, or like she said, y'all took advantage of her. I just wanted to know, because I was about to say I didn't know he had been turned against her, but he still say he's sticking beside her. Okay, thank you, Newstoter.
Oh, no problem. Oh, she was living her best life. This was this girl fantasy right here, getting railed by multiple black men like that, and the white ones in her job as well too. All of a sudden now it was something that she hated and detested. But that was her fantasy. That what was going on at the workplace. Multiple black men, other men that weren't black as well too. She had the husband that was cool with it. That was her fantasy. All of a sudden now, her fantasy done turned into a nightmare. So yeah, it's just nonsense that she's talking about. Tammy, what's going on? How you doing tonight? Hey DJ, hold it down 1 second for me too.
I'm doing great. How y'all doing?
We doing good.
Y'all got a good conversation going. And it's not anything. We can have different opinions and both be right. And I'm passionate about just when this type of things happen. At some point, she probably didn't want it to happen anymore. And I've been in correctional staffings where the men overtake women and there's harassment, and before you know it, you want to stop and you can't. And, even in a date rape, well, I don't have one date rape experience I had. Do you know who was the worst ones to me and criminalized me for it? Women. And we do that. And I'm not saying you, okay? And we do that without any pause. And I know some of it is coming because she's white. And even some of those white fast girls at school, at some point, I'm pretty sure that they had the same experience. And we lack some empathy there for her. Nobody likes to get gang raped, if that's what they said. She might have had sex with them and they passed her along. Who likes that? I think at some point it got over her head. And you start when everybody, in the country, in the world, has heard this story. Laverne, I used to live in Laverne, is like a little bitty town with I'm surprised they had that many officers. And I'm sure she got depressed. And I know for sure she probably went to the hospital. Because everywhere she went in this town, she was an officer and now she's a slut. And the ones who, for me, were the worst were the women. They were the less empathetic ones. They were the ones that had the just tones and didn't, show up like, I'm like, God, really? And, men, say, yeah. And black men are going to push that narrative. So I'm not saying either side. I'm just saying, for me, in my experience, I want to encourage women to at least have a little empathy for her. Because I know how, in the the athletic dorm or the room or whatever, it gets out of hand.
Okay, real quick. I just came back to the conversation. What
Vanderbilt, did you see the Vanderbilt rape that occurred here too? And that even, they got how much time? Even though I don't necessarily think they deserve it. But that was my thing. I wasn't saying anything about your comment. It's just
okay, because I just came back because, like I said, DJ. Well, no. Real quick, because I just came back to the actual conversation. That's why I told DJ to hold it. So exactly, what were you saying, Tammy?
No, she was just explaining in general. She wasn't referring to anybody in general.
Okay, so
you can respond. I was just saying that women seem to be, for me, to have the less empathy for the situations, and I can see how, you're having, dealings with the captain, and all of a sudden it's the lieutenant and captain, and then all of a sudden it's game, and you're thinking, oh, it can get out of hand really quickly. And I'm sure she did get depressed to go from officer of the law to the town slut. I used to live in Laverne, and it's not a very easy situation to get through. And I can imagine the hospital really we're not going to be. You can't medicate that, but you can help her, get through it. She's going to probably need some support for a long time. But that's all I would say. And yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that was my experience, that women are harder on those situations than men are.
All righty. Like I said, I didn't catch the whole conversation because I had stepped away for a second. DJ, is Mr. Engaging up next? Okay, you got it, Mr. Engaging.
Thank God, man. Like Emmett Till's killer is still walking loose, family. And she goes off and she wants to cry about for this white liberal tears for this white woman. The hell with that, respectfully. I think that's so.
I'm not cutting you off. She's not crying tears for this liberal white woman. She was explaining her personal situation. I'm not sure if you heard that, but go ahead.
Yeah, and let him go ahead, DJ, because like I say, I missed out on that. So let Mr. Engaging, go ahead, and I want to hear what you got to say. You got it, Mr. Engaging. You there, Mr. Engaging?
It was still muted. Still muted, man.
Yeah, you got it.
It came across like even if she did, but she put it underneath the guise of the woman that we should feel sorry for based off of her experience. One, that white woman is not a black woman, first of all. Second of all, Emmett Till's killer is still out there on the effing loose, and you still crying liberal white tears, like I said. And I'm standing on that. Come on, you're cutting me off, man. Cutting me off. I sat back and I heard you run your mouth about this, patiently waiting to respond because I felt bad disrespect. See, fuck it, man. I'm not even going to talk about that because I got disrespect. I sat back and heard her bullshit. Now I can't state my opinions about how wrong she is about this nonsense.
You can't state.
No, I'm good.
Hey, you can go ahead and say what you got to say. Tammy, don't come off your mic. Misengaging, just chill because she wasn't cursing at you or anything like that. So just go ahead and say what you got to say, man. Apparently, I guess he done left. So, like I said, I wasn't even up in the. I had moved out of space or whatever, so I didn't exactly.
Just for the record, though, like you said, you know, when you put somebody in command to control things, it's control. So Tammy wasn't sticking up for this Becky. She was explaining her personal experience and how sometimes women will side with the culprit. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you know, we supposed to be women and shit, you know, and I'm telling you, I've been, you know, harassed and all this other stuff, you know, not gonna work, raped or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Sometimes you see these women, they will side with the culprit versus the victim. That's all she was saying, you know. Go ahead, Black Majority. What's going on?
Hello. Newstoter, DJ Ray, and Miss Terry, I believe.
Hey, what's up?
I came up. So I came up because, you know, I saw this story and I love where Newstoter was talking about the cuckold relationship and things of that nature. And then when I saw this whole report about her suing or whatever, claiming some type of, you know, sexual workplace harassment, it is very likely that couple was involved in what they call swinging. I think we've all heard of that before. I actually owned a swing club, and the clientele was 99.9% white. Many of them could have been officers. I know the one was a prison guard. I didn't have a whole lot of conversations with them, but, you know, they could have been lawyers, doctors, judges, whatever. That is a part of their culture. When I first saw that story and heard the story, I said, oh, yeah, that's pretty normal for them. Quite literally, that is how they interact in the world. And they can still be as racist as can be, but that's what it is. I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't have, there's something called a Queen of Spades. It is a tattoo that they get, and that is for white women who essentially, you know, get, what do they call it, bred by black men, essentially. That's like their whole thing. So I wouldn't have any sympathy for this woman. The fact that she's manipulating the system, I think, is problematic. And for the black officers, I would really do a deep dive into her history. If any way possible, she probably has some online presence that they could, you know, find. But, you know, unfortunately, to Governor's point, it did happen in a workplace environment, and there are likely rules and laws that govern that. So she probably will win some type of financial, you know, case. But I have no sympathy for her.
I'm with you on that, Black. Like I say, this chick here, this was her fantasy right here. She ended up getting fired for it, and now they're taking down all the black dudes. She gonna get some money. Let's see if these black. Hold on, real quick, Tammy. Hold on, real quick, Tammy. Let's see if some of these black guys get a settlement too, because I already, like I say, I pretty much figured this months ago that this is what they were going to do. That they were going to go ahead and they were going to paint her as this person that had just been victimized and taken advantage. And I can hear her now talking about, oh, how big and black they were and all this other nonsense and stuff too. This was her fantasy right here. She got her fantasy going on in the workplace, giving it up to these black guys. Like Black Majority State said, a lot of white women, you know, and they can't, some of them, they in relationships with, they know their men not going to play that. They can't say what they really fantasize and stuff like that. But a lot of them have these type of fantasies. They want to do this kind of stuff. And she was able to live her fantasies. She was able to live her fantasies and probably be hand. Oh, hey, Tammy, please, sweetie, don't come off the microphone now. You were just talking about. Yeah, go ahead. And when I get through, you can go ahead and talk. But please don't interrupt me. I'm not interrupting anybody. So go ahead and let me say what I got to say. You know.
Newstoter, I'll give you $10 so you can get her off the stage, man. $10 so you can get off the stage.
All right, y'all. Relax. It ain't that serious. Mr. Engaging, I'm gonna get to you as well. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and say something. Let's just go ahead, y'all. This story here, even though we talking about it or whatever, this ain't life and death. Like I said, this is just we just having a conversation about something that we already knows that goes on and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and show some decorum up here. Let's show some respect as well to people as well too. We're not gonna come off our mic. We're gonna let the people talk. We're not even gonna keep the space open too much longer as well too. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna one thing, Tammy, too, like I do, you do come off that microphone a lot now when you come up in here. So go ahead and stay on the microphone till it's your turn. Keep your hand raised, and then I'll go ahead and let you go. Go ahead, Tammy, and go ahead, and then I'm gonna let Mr. Engaging go after you.
I'm only going to say it's against policy, and it is the culture. Because I like to have conversations that's full of factual information and not just me opining about what I like and dislike. But it's against policy, and it's the culture of uniform. But I know it's the culture of corrections, and I'm not saying ooh boo boo da da da. But I'm not. He's a captain. He's a, they have positions of power, so it's against that too. But the only thing I was addressing is at some point it probably did get over her head and it became not funny anymore. But I don't disagree with, they're not gonna get any money. So I'm gonna help them.
All right, Tammy. Mr. Engaging, go ahead.
All right, first things first. Like, we're in a system of white supremacy, right? So, like, even if those guards, quote unquote, have power, there's still white people above him and below him. So, like, therefore, like, how much power do these, like, guards and stuff really, really do wield? Like, let's really, really be frank about this. Then on top of this woman got passed around just because it got tossed around in some papers. Now the whole public knows. Now she wants to call foul. Like, the hell with that crap. This woman is pulling some Emmett Till bullshit, boo-hoo, crying and tearing. And like I said, Emmett Till's murderer is still walking loose and all this other stuff. And it's that type of culture that comes from that type of white woman that you have other black women allowed to slide. Like, that's that stuff I have to call that personally. And I'm willing to get $10 to clear off the stage so we won't have to hear this crap no more. Because it's disrespectful to the black men. It's disrespectful to the black community as a whole. And you can thumb down all you want, but the truth is going to hurt. Because I'm tired of some of these black women taking up for trashy-ass white women who don't mean well for our community. That's the same ass trashy woman that infiltrated the Black Power movement and disabled our community. That type of woman. But I'm going to leave it like that, and I'm going to put $10 so you can clear this woman off the stage. So she can just thumb in the back. Because she should deserve to be in the back for that comment. Because I feel like that's the right shot.
Doing that, Mr.
Okay. I think I said before, nobody come off their mic while anybody's talking, and that's kind of what I mean. Raise your hand, wait till the person's done, he's almost done, and then go ahead. Nobody wants anybody interrupting them, so don't interrupt anybody else. Even if you don't agree with what he says, the only person that come off the mic and go ahead and stop him will be me and DJ or Ray. Go ahead, Mr. Engaging. Go ahead and finish your point, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get it to Trouble, and then we'll get it to Rella.
Thank you. This is the confusion that goes on in the black community with some of our black women taking up for white supremacy, man. Let that white woman burn. She made her own damn decision. And if her own white man ain't advocating for her, why the hell are you advocating for her? You look like a damn fool. And I'm gonna give you $10 to clear her off the stage.
I don't worry about that, Mr. Engaging. Don't worry about doing that. It's not, like I said, I'm gonna say it again. It's not that serious. This ain't an echo chamber. People gonna have disagreements. You don't have to. If you want to give $10 and just donate to the platform, then by all means go ahead and give $10. But don't give $10 saying about clearing somebody off the stage because you have a disagreement with them. Let's just go ahead and let's show some decorum and let's show some discipline. Let's show some respect to one another also, because we don't have to agree with what people say. And I'm with you on this. I don't have any love for this woman here. I see this woman using the system, using her sexuality and using her race to go ahead and secure money. That's what I see. Now, I know some people may disagree with that, but that's exactly how I feel. I don't feel the least bit sorry for her. It is kind of messed up to the fact that, people, we're in an age now where somebody can blast your picture all over the world. So on that aspect, maybe there is a little bit of something there for that. But in terms of her actually deciding to actually, want to be with these men and it just got out of hand or whatever. And they, I don't really feel anything for it on that end there. So I'm going to just leave it at that. And I'm going to go ahead and go to Trouble. And then I'm going to go to Rella. Go ahead, Trouble.
Hey, Sister Trouble, before you go, so again, Mr. Engaging, check your DM and try to check your tag notifications or whatever. Go ahead, Trouble. What's up, sister?
Hey, y'all.
That was you, Trouble?
Shit, that's my shit right there. Play that record again. Play that record again. We got to get you in the liquor store, Trouble.
I can't help myself.
No, I know.
Shout out to the group. I hope everybody's doing all right. I got up in here a little bit late tonight, so I didn't get to hear the totality of all of the stories. But homegirl pulled a "it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none" straight up, and now she's trying to get paid. Me and Tota was laughing earlier about how her mom called her out, just like Rachel Dolezal mom called her out. You know what I'm saying? So it's just funny because through history, they always try to cosplay us in different situations. But this thing here is super fucking funny with this heifer right here. Like, how, okay, that was a whole other story I'm talking about. But anyhow,
oh, yeah, that's the other one with the one that was passing for white we talked about earlier.
Yeah, that thing had me rolling half the day. Every time I thought about it, I was cracking up. But, and this is weird because rarely do I agree with Mr. Engagement on his views with women, but I gotta agree with this one. We can't save these helpers. We can't save these white tricks because throughout history, this is what they've done to our black men. They always go and get them some, and then they turn around and cry rape later. She want to play the victim. You know what I'm saying? She ain't us. There's a lot of us black women who have real ass experience when it comes to being sexually harassed on the job and other places in our families, in our daily ass lives, no matter where we at. I don't have time sympathizing with this white woman because it's a whole ass lie. She gave that cookie up and got caught. Now that she done got caught, she want to cry, play victim and get a little ching on the side. Her husband was down with it too. He was probably sitting right there watching the videos as she was getting smashed by them big black dang-a-lang-langs. You know what I'm saying? He was enjoying every single minute of it. They get caught, and then all of a sudden they wanna start screaming victim. You know, white people, they love to holler about black people got victim mentalities, but watch out when when the fire gets set on their ass just a little bit, how they ease into victim mentality and victim mode. Girl, if you don't go get somewhere and set that little stanky ass down, you done flare that thing throughout the police department. I know, Lord, child, please. This thing here is hilarious. and the white media gonna eat it up. But everybody know that trick was out there tricking. I guess you say tricking ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? But pimping damn show was, and I'ma land on that.
Hey, real talk on that. I mean, and like the same dumbass the boy at Howard up here trying to sue, like you say, they always talking about black people playing the race card and the victim card and this and that or whatever. Same with the dumbass white boy at Howard trying to sue and come up and get him $2 million. This chick right here is the same type of chick that been and got your ass hung back in the day. Her fantasy has been with a black dude, and the minute she get caught with a black dude, she up here hollering rape. Oh, he was so big and so black. He was so big and so black, and I couldn't fight him. Like, get out of here with that shit. Like, real talk, man. Go ahead, Rella. You got it.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Newstoter. So, and Ray and DJ, everybody on stage. So I'm going to actually, because I understand where Miss Tammy was actually coming from, and I don't think it's in about siding with any white woman. Most people actually can look at the rationale of a situation, actually not apply themselves to the situation. First of all, I'm not going to compare myself to a white woman and her experience. However, when you lay down with dogs, what you get up with fleas, if that's what they say. And I'm definitely sure not going to be sitting up here championing trying to save no black men who decided to stick their dick into a white woman and have a pretty much situation and be on here talking about and trying to compare it to Emmett Till. Don't disrespect Emmett Till legacy like that. Matter of fact, Keith Washington and the whole entire crew in regards to the legacy of Emmett Till did a great biography story on the what happened with Emmett Till. His actual murderers, they allowed them to die. They allowed them to go to their grave. The only one that's not dead yet is the woman who initiated everything, and she happens to be white. So we don't even know what her part was, other than the fact that she told her trash ass husband and her brother what happened with Emmett Till, and they pulled him out the house. This woman is freely in a law enforcement environment, which was Ms. Tammy's point, where they're like, "Hey, we're gonna pass this woman around." I think I heard somebody say that, you know, they knew about her husband, her I think it was Brother Move, who was like, they knew about her situation with how their marriage was set up. So I wouldn't even invoke Emmett Till's name in this situation, because you had adults who literally were participating in a sexual activity. They got caught up. And this is the shit that black men can't seem to get through their thick ass skulls when you fucking with white women. So here you go as another example. You go and fuck with these white women, and you're going to come back, and they're going to come after your ass, and then you're going to be trying to holler at, oh, the black woman is, you know, siding with somebody because, you know, they feeling sorry. No, we not. You don't see body down a timeline champion white women and siding for white women. You don't see it. You ain't never seen that shit. So I'm a dead that right there. And then on a second tip is that if he was groomed, and it's the text messages, which the text messages gonna come up, and lawyers gonna have a field day, because it ain't about the truth. It's about what you can prove in the court of law. And let's keep it right real. So if you smart, you're going to understand that if you're an attorney, if someone's an attorney and they got your case, they can't win your cases because you had a pissy-ass attorney who couldn't prove reasonable doubt. So we're going to have to see how this plays out, and it's going to be mad-ass funny how these black men going to get caught up, but the white men she was sleeping with ain't going to see a lick of day or any of the trash-ass comments that come in the timeline with people clowning and cooning. So while people clowning and cooning this woman, you better be going after them black men that decide to participate and stick their dick in this white woman's pussy and come out with fleas on their ass. That's what you should be mad about. And I'm going to land right there.
Might be more than fleas. Might be a case of gonorrhea.
Or something. The gift that keeps on giving. Because plagues, I mean, I'm just saying, plagues keep keep lasting because people nasty. And you fucking with people who don't even like using washcloths.
All right, Rella.
Barely up by herself. Yes.
Okay, kind of some choice language in there from Rella, but okay, I feel you. All right. I feel you. You got off tonight. I'll give you that. You got off. But I'll say this right here. The white girl don't deserve a dime. And that's my personal opinion. I don't give a damn how many Negroes she slept with, how many she screwed. The white girl don't deserve one red cent. And I go to my grave saying that. Damn the white girl. Damn the big head white boy at Howard trying to come up and get $2 million as well, too. And damn the niggas that slept with her as well too. Damn them as well. Like, hey, yeah, you're right. You play with fire, you get burned. But at the same time, the white girl don't deserve no come up because she was a tramp. So no money for her, no dollars for her. Mr. Engaging, you got to go ahead, unmute your mic.
Yo, I'm gonna say something that the elder said about that white woman. The chick set me up, man. The chick set me up. You know about the mayor out in DC.
Marion Barry.
Yeah, I got. You know, I got to throw a little. You know, I have to go on too hard about that. But I want to get onto that Howard lawsuit thing. Switch it up real quick to change gears. What if this lawsuit do go through, fam? Crazy enough. Do you think consolidating these HBCUs is a good move so we can get the curriculum and the strength? Because as of right now, having all these HBCUs are not being properly funded, is not getting the teachers that we need, the curriculum getting pushed the way we want, the agenda, and we're not getting the right leaders out there. I'm just throwing something out there. As like moving to the left with the Howard University lawsuit.
You consolidate with these white institutions if you want to, and yeah, you may get the fund.
No. Not consolidate with the white institutions. I'm talking about HBCUs consolidating with other.
Oh, okay. Because
no, brother. Don't. I'm not doing that.
Oh, okay. I'm like you. That's what I thought you was talking about. I'm like, shit. You.
No. What I'm saying is that the HBCUs are not being properly funded. We're not getting the staff is not getting are not being properly supported. Then on top of that, the football teams and the sport teams suck. But if they're combined more, they might get better talent and become more stronger. That's where I'm getting at. Maybe consolidation may be better, and that's what I'm posing towards. To looking at this Howard University, if this thing goes through, like if God forbid something bad like that happens, or other things like this happen, like it'll be better if we consolidate more so we can get stronger. Because as of right now, we like paper thin. Get where I'm going at?
That's a good idea, Mr. Engaging. I just don't know how realistic it is when you look at like some of these campuses and stuff. Them being like take here in Florida, you got Bethune-Cookman and you got FAMU. Well, FAMU's in Tallahassee, Bethune-Cookman's in Daytona Beach. They separated but probably about 300 miles away or something like that. So they're the two biggest HBCUs in the state. If you could consolidate them, then yeah, that would be a good thing. But I just don't know how exactly that would happen. So I mean, if it was a way that you could possibly do it, like you said, that might not be a bad idea. But I don't know exactly how you would do it. Like, how would you consolidate Grambling and Southern and?
Because the reason why we consolidate, the reason why I'm doing, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to. What I mean by consolidate on top of that for a sports thing, now you got more of a competitive sports team. Like we need to have a more competitive sports team that's going head to head with these PIs. Because I really think that they're not as great as they are. Like real talk. And the only reason why we're not as great is because we're not consolidating. Then on top of that, it will help weed out these tethers that's in our HBCU. Now you flood the gate with nothing but foundational Black American people, Igbo American people, etc., with those type of ideologies all on campus, working together for a common goal. You dig where I'm coming from? I really think that it will revolutionize how HBCUs and education should be taught to the Igbo American people in the United States. That's just my stance on that.
That's something worth looking into. Like I said, just my thing would just be the logistics and the geography. Like if you could consolidate, you know, that may help with the funding and everything else like that. I'd have to see a plan about it, but you know that might not be a bad bad thing if it's doable. That'll be the only thing, Mr. Engaging. But yeah, my bad is at first I thought you, because I know you like we mentioned before, you had some.
Oh, hell no! Just because I go to a WPI don't mean I'm not gonna sell the soap to my people. That's disrespectful.
No, okay, that's.
I'm just going up there because I'm living in
You
North.
go to a WPI and with the white people and they love you.
This is why I wanted to pay the $10, man. So I just want to deal with this, man. The ignorance, man. The ignorance.
All right.
Like I'd rather pay for it to like get rid of it versus like engaging with it. You dig?
Okay, Tammy, let me go ahead and let you go. Yeah, she didn't mean anything by it. She was just joking and Mr. Engaging, but let's just let's not take it too serious. You know, like I say, it's just a space, and we're just up here brainstorming with each other. Let's look at it that way right here. We shooting ideas, we brainstorming, we trying to form something. America made the greater union or whatever they claim. We trying to do the same thing for our people. So let's not get to the point where we get personal with each other. Like unless somebody really just insults you, then okay, get personal with their ass. I can understand that, but let's not get to that point where we got to get to that point. Go ahead, Tammy. We're gonna be closing the space out soon, anyways, y'all. So go ahead, Tammy.
I know a lot on both of these topics because I started my career as a corrections officer, open a prison, so that's why I know the culture. And it's just like that with all of them. But with the HBCUs, you are missing the fact that they are rich in culture. And we survive. And we have rivals. And sports is not the primary thing. I hope Brother Boo was still in here because I heard him talking. And most of what Black people have done or started was seeded by something. Somebody called it whatever. But historically, Black colleges and universities is a rich legacy of, we don't need y'all to teach us shit. We can learn it ourselves. This university, Meharry Medical College, all of these, Tennessee State University, all of these have a rich history of coming back, being able to teach your own. The same way we need to educate our own and check on our own kids' mental health. We don't let them deal with their mental health all these years. Didn't even think about it. And our kids, and something about white, baby. I had the best education, and I learned the best rich history of Black people that no white college was ever going to teach me. Okay? And that is what makes it rich. You don't think I believe all this shit the white people say? I got that from going to an HBCU, pleasure at an HBCU, being together. It don't have nothing to do. I go, just the togetherness. That was the first time, other than high school, and you don't really be together, that I got to be around, see, hug, get together with Black women and mentors, and put them together would never happen. And they knew, just like they know everything. White people knew they was underfunded those colleges, and they tried to put it into the land grant, But you have a really good board of directors that should not be controlled by the state. It's thriving, but they pay those games with us. I loved going to my college. I loved debunking the white man being, because I asked my friend, I was like, girl, what you going to do with a degree in African American history? I'm trying to be in front. He said, what you going to do with a degree in English? That wasn't my degree, but she checked my ass. Because at that point, I needed to be out together.
Real talk. I'm gonna let Mr. Engaging be the last speaker for the night. DJ's gonna get ready to start a space up as well too, because the conversation is gonna go on. So y'all DJ finna get ready to start a space up. So Mr. Engaging, I'm gonna go ahead and let you close. Y'all make sure y'all come to the space too, man. I'm gonna come out there for a hangout for a little bit myself as well too. So y'all come in if y'all can. Everybody that's in the space right here, y'all join us. Everybody that's up in the space right now, y'all come and join us. DJ's gonna start up real quick, and just it's gonna be a continuation of what's going on here. We still got a lot of news out there, y'all. So y'all go ahead and definitely check us out. Mr. Engaging, you go ahead and like I said, Mr. Engaging, if you want to go ahead and shoot the $10, you can still shoot that as well too. But go ahead, Mr. Engaging.
Oh yeah. That consolidation. I want to go a little bit further. It's not just with sports, with competition. It's with competition with everything, with intellectual property, with funding, with also expressing ideas when it comes to gathering data and research and everything else. We're not competitive the way that I feel that we're not as competitive as we ought to be. We need to be competitive on a global stance as well as domestic. And it's hard for us at this time frame perspective. And I think that us consolidating will put all our treasures underneath one roof per se. Like, you know what? Have them in museums and all that within our new HBCUs and give the history that way, and we can guard it and stuff because we need to be guarding our stuff right about now. And I feel like all our institutions are unfortunately loosely guarded. And you have tethers like Kamala Harris and others in the sorts sliding through the cracks and becoming our leaders. And I feel like if we consolidate, we can get rid of that issue. We can actually put our languages like Tutnese in there and actually like pump some real Negro Black American agenda on the educational side. So like that was just my vision, a little bit of a glimpse of my version of consolidate of the HBCU. So like there's no disrespect. I understand that it's a system of different. And I understand that it's history. But like we gotta build past that and we gotta worry about our future, preserving our legacy here and now into the future.
All right. Appreciate everybody coming out to the space tonight, y'all. This will we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up because, like I say, DJ got a space that he finna go ahead and get it in. So y'all go ahead and make sure y'all come out. People on YouTube, if y'all still up, go ahead. Miss Lisa, I know you probably gonna be wrapping it up or whatever. So you get a chance, y'all come over to DJ space as well too. He's gonna get ready to start it up. So let me just give a shout out to everybody. Thank you to all of the co-hosts, the speakers, the listeners. This was another spirited Twitter space tonight, y'all. So I definitely appreciate it. We just try to get it in when we can. Trying to stay respectful though, y'all. Try to stay respectful. Sometimes, emotions do get pumping in these spaces and stuff like that. So it is what it is. But I don't think anybody really means any harm. So it's just glad that we wanted to cover these topics tonight, and thank you to everybody who came out to help us to cover it as well too. A lot of our people, they just chilled and they listen or whatever. So we appreciate that. I definitely appreciate everybody who contributed on Cash App as well tonight to Napoleon, Yvette. Thank you guys. I definitely appreciate that. We'll be back. Maybe might do a space Sunday. Definitely Monday. Monday 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Thursday. But every now and then you got to do one on a Sunday night or something like that as well too. So, I still can't send out the mass spaces like I want to, but it is what it is, y'all. So we'll definitely go ahead and y'all go get ready to check DJ out in this space as well too. So thank you to everybody who tweeted out the space, the co-hosts, the speakers, the listeners. We'll see you guys in. Come join us for the continuation, y'all. We're gonna holler at you.
Peace.